Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. So I have been going through some difficult times in my life right now, some difficult seasons. I have been feeling like I have been up against certain things in my life, and I'm not gonna lie, I have even been emotionally overwhelmed. And I just want to come on here and talk about the things that I do that help me to get through my difficult times, 5 ways that I stay strong during difficult seasons in my life so that I can, continue to keep my hope alive, so that I continue to stay strong even though I'm going through a difficult time. And sometimes we have to find ways that we can get through going through what we're going through so that we don't get weak, so that we don't break, so that the thing that we are dealing with does not, cause us to lose hope or cause us to want to give up in our seasons of difficult time, because there's always going to be times in our life where everything is going to be shaken, where there's going to be things that unexpectedly happen in your life, where there is going to be pain that you go through, where there's going to be trials and tribulations that you go through. And the 5 ways that I stay strong while I go through what I go through is I pray, I read my Bible, I praise, I listen to encouraging and motivational, videos. I even journal. I write in my journal to release what I am feeling, to release my emotions, to let out what it is that I'm going through. Because sometimes we have to release the things that we are feeling. And let me tell you the importance of why it's important to do these 5 things when you are going through a difficult time, why it's important. So, reading your Bible is very important, even when you're not going through hard times, even when you're not going through difficult times. It's so important to stay in the word of the Lord, because when you are weak, God is going to give you the strength that you need to endure, to persevere, to get through what you are going through. When we are weak, He is made strong, and He gives us His strength. And when you are brokenhearted, God is near to you, okay? He is close to you. Even when you don't feel it, even when you don't think it, He is there. And it's so important to stay in the Word so that your hope does not diminish, so that you know the promises of God for your life, so that you know that He is there with you, so that you know His word and what His word says about your life, how He has a great future for you. Even though sometimes you may feel like you're up against everything and your back is up against the wall and you don't know how you're going to get through what you're going through, and you feel like things are never going to get better for you, God is there for you in the midst of it all. It reminds me of the story of the 3 Hebrew boys when they were in the fire. So King Nebuchadnezzar wanted everybody to worship these idols. He wanted everybody to worship his gods, their gods. And these 3 Hebrew boys didn't want to bow down. They didn't want to worship his idols, his gods, because they only had one God. And King Nebuchadnezzar threw them inside the fire. He had the soldiers and everything throw the boys inside the fire. And although they were in the fire, although they were, in that fire did not consume them. He heated up the fire 7 times hotter. He heated up that furnace 7 times hotter than what it usually would be. And he thought that the fire was going to consume them, but it didn't consume them. And when they looked in there, they seen a 4th person walking in there with them in the fire. And that was the Lord protecting them from the fire. He was in there with them in the midst of their fire, in the midst of the very thing that was trying to consume them, in the midst of what the king was throwing at them, trying to consume them with. And when they opened it up, when the soldiers opened it up and looked, it was so hot that it consumed them. But the 3 Hebrew boys were not consumed, but they were in the fire. And when they came out, they walked out with nothing wrong with them. They walked out. They were not consumed. They were not burnt. They were not destroyed. They didn't even smell like the smoke. They didn't even smell like the very thing that they went through. And that's how it's going to be for you. The very thing that you are going through that's trying to consume you will not consume you, because God is right there in the midst of it with you. You are not going to look like what you've been through. You are not going to look like what you are going through right now. Because God is not going to allow that thing to consume you. But you have to trust in him, that he is there with you. Because see, the 3 Hebrew boys trusted him. They knew that God was still there with them, that he was going to protect them no matter what anyone threw against them, no matter whatever was trying to come up against them. They knew that their God was going to protect them. And that's how it is for you. You have to know that what you are going through, that if God has his hand on your life, he is not going to allow you to lose. You are going to win in the end, although it may not feel like it right now. You may be going through the fire, but you are going to come out of that. This is just a temporary season in your life, and you need to just wait it out. Just hold on, because your time is coming. There is a time where your struggles, your pain, the things that you are going through has to come to an end. Although you don't know the time, but God always has an appointed time to bring us out. To bring us out of the things that we are going through, to bring us out of the seasons that we are going through, that are of difficulty, that are of hard times. He is going to bring you out. And it's so important to praise, because when we praise, we shift our focus from our problems to the Lord. See, I love to praise because the enemy likes to get me in a state of mind, to try and get me in a state of mind that this is how it's going to be for me. He tries to get me so consumed on my problems to worry, to doubt, to fear, to think about all the things that are going wrong, and to not be grateful for what's going right in my life, to not be grateful for the things that I am blessed with. And when we praise, it's something about giving praise to the Lord, to where you're shifting your focus from your problems, from your worry, to trusting in the Lord, to praising him and giving him thanksgiving for what he's going to do, for what he has already done. Because there's so many times that we go through difficult seasons in our life and we don't think that we're going to get out. And we look back, and we have to look back and give thanks and praise to the Lord on how he brought us out of all the things previously in the past, all the things that we dealt with in the past. So why wouldn't he continue to bring us out? Why wouldn't he continue to be so good, to be so gracious, to be so merciful to us, that he would not continue to bring us out? And also giving thanksgiving because he's worthy of it. Showing him that we trust him in the midst of going through what we're going through. Showing him that we're still holding on to our faith. Showing him that we're still holding on to hope. Trying to redirect our focus onto what's important, to what matters. Instead of constantly staying in a state of discouragement, because the enemy would love for you to feel defeated. The enemy would love for you to give up on yourself. The enemy would love for you to stay discouraged, to stay down and out. He wants you to stay down and out. He wants you to stay stuck. He wants you to feel hopeless. He wants your hope to diminish. He wants you to feel like things will never get better. He wants you to feel like your life does not have purpose, that your life does not have meaning. He wants you to feel like the worst of the worst. He wants you to stay depressed. He wants you to stay laying up in the bed, not getting up out of the bed. He wants you to get knocked off course, to get knocked off track, so that you don't continue in trying to become better, so that you don't continue to, walk in purpose, so that you don't continue to try to achieve the things that God has for you. And you have a whole nother life on the other side of this, on the other side of what you were going through. And I also listen to encouraging and motivational videos, because sometimes when I'm feeling down, or sometimes when I'm going through a really difficult time, I just need to encourage my spirit. Besides praising, besides reading the Bible, sometimes I need to hear encouraging words And when I focus on praising, when I focus on reading my word, when I get on, to hearing inspirational, motivational, encouraging words, it's helping me from staying in a state of feeling down and wanting to go into depression. It's uplifting my spirit. It's uplifting my soul. All these things are encouraging me, are helping me to stay strong instead of, telling myself I just want to lay down and give up and quit, which is what some of us do. I continue to stand firm, to keep going, to keep telling myself that I will get through this. And sometimes all you need to do is hear a word and hear that word over your life. Speak a word over your life to uplift your spirit. Because when you don't do any of these things, you're allowing yourself to just stay in a pity party, to allow yourself to stay feeling hopeless, to allow yourself staying down. And sometimes you have to fight for yourself. You have to fight for your strength. You have to fight sometimes to get through, to make it through. And the enemy is going to throw all types of things up against you, up your way. And if you don't have that mentality to fight back, see, those things can either break you or they can either build you. And when you're going through difficult times and you continue to persevere, you continue to keep going and keep your hope alive, you become more resilient. You become more strong. You become more tougher. You become more wiser. You start to become, a person that you never thought that you could be. You start to develop a type of resiliency that you never thought that you even had inside of you. You start to realize how much stronger you really are than what you thought you was. And I also write in my journal, and I journal. I write in my journal sometimes because sometimes you may feel like although all you have is God to talk to, some of you may not have family members, friends, or people that you feel like you can talk to, that you can let out. And sometimes it's best to not even let other people know what you're going through sometimes. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you can have that close friend, that one that you can trust, that encouraging friend that that you're able to trust, that you can call and they can encourage you and uplift your spirit. But when you don't have that, what happens when you don't have that? When you feel like you have no one in your corner, when you feel like you have no one to trust, when you feel like no one who understands what you're going through, or when you feel like you don't have that encouraging friend, that backup system, that one to help you bring your spirit back up when you're feeling down, that one that's going to help you, that's going to tell you keep going. When you don't have that, sometimes you need to release what you are going through. You need to release what you are feeling. You need to release your emotions. And sometimes you have to let it out. When you feel you don't have anyone to vent to, you write in that journal. You pick up that journal and you write and you let it out. Sometimes you may have to cry it out. It may be times that you are crying like a baby. You may be crying when it's time to go to bed, when it's time for you to go to sleep. You staying up. You can't get no sleep because everything around you is shaking, but you have to let it out. You have to let it out. So don't be discouraged, because God is your strong tower and he will always be there for you. But you have to continue to stay strong. You have to continue to keep going. You have to continue to pick your head up when you are feeling down. You have to continue to keep your mind in a state of positivity, because it's so easy for us to get negative. It's so easy for us to complain. It's so easy for us to get down and out. But know that better days are coming for you. So that is the 5 things that I do when I am down, when I'm going through difficult times in my life. And those are the things that help me get through, because we all know during times of great pain, during times of great difficulty, it is not easy. It is not easy for us. And it's so easy for us to go to substances, to, to worry, to get into depression, to want to give up. It's so much easier for us to do that than to fight back, to try and stay strong. So I just want to encourage someone today that if you're in need of trying to find ways to get through what you are going through, practice it. Practice gratitude. Practice praising the Lord. Practice reading your Bible. Continue to pray. Pray with what you are going through. If I didn't mention praying is so important. It's being persistent in your prayer. Knowing that persistent prayer changes things. Not allowing yourself to give up, but continuing to pray through what you are going through, because prayer changes things and God changes things. And when you're praying, you're bringing your cares to the Lord and you're laying it at his feet. Because sometimes we go through things and we don't know how we're going to get through. But when we give it to Jesus, when we give it to the Lord and we lay it at his feet, we're saying, Lord, although I don't know why I'm going through what I'm going through, I'm trusting in you. I'm trusting in you to bring me out. I'm trusting in you to get me through this. I'm trusting in your strength. I'm relying on your strength to help me get through this difficult season and time in my life. Because in my own strength, it is not enough. Because I get weak and I'm human. But I know that you are my strong tower and that with your strength, I can do all things. I can get through all things. So God bless you. I hope this message encouraged you. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on my encouraging videos, okay? Turn that notification bell on so you can see whenever I post, because if you just subscribe and you don't have the notification bell on, you will not know when I post. And sometimes it may be that word that you need to hear to encourage you. I am here to encourage you, to help you become a better you, to help you get through difficult seasons in your life, to uplift you, to help you become a stronger version of yourself. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for taking the time to hear me out again. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.